This is why you have to experiment with AI right now, especially if you are a small business owner. Every day, something changes. I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, if you are a business owner, you know that. Especially in the small business community, there are changes every day on everything from manufacturing techniques, 3D printing of metal, of plastic, process changes, personnel changes, schooling changes, the reliability of employees changes, supplier changes. I mean, these are all changes. But there are changes and there are changes. And AI is going to set a new mega trend. I'm convinced about that. If you have followed all the discussion around ChatGPT, then it should be clear to you it's here to stay. We're seeing Microsoft integrating it into MS 365. You're seeing Google launching their own version with Bard, and so on and so on and so on. Canva doing a deal. Like, there is so many things parallel coming up. I mean, the change curve on AI, it's not a straight line. People always, like, our brain works in terms of a straight line. We do revenue prediction usually in a straight line. We do cost prediction in a straight line, upward or downward, doesn't matter. But this thing is gonna go exponential. With all the computing power, with all the venture capital, with everything that's pouring in right now, it's gonna go exponential. AI is learning exponentially. The more people use it, the more it learns, the better it gets. There is a statistic, if you look at the second version and the fourth version of ChatGPT, just to give you like one tiny example, is if you look at it on a scale from 0 to 100, I think the second version on the bar examination, which is like the lawyer test in order to be a registered lawyer in New York, you have to pass this exam. So version 2 was like on 40%, which meant 39% of lawyers were worse than ChatGPT and 60% were better. Version 4 is above 90%. So there are very few lawyers that actually do a better job. And between version 2 and 4 is not a decade. It's just like 3 months or something like that. So you see how it learns, how fast it is. And as a small business owner, we are using it. Like, we're experimenting with it. It's not always usable, depending, especially if you are in fabrication and engineering, things tend to change a little bit slower. But when they do, they can have quite dramatic effects. For example, Excel started to have like analytic functions in it, like AI suggested analytics function. Before, you had to build pivot tables and graphs and format it and data and da. Now Excel can do that for you. If you have a table, it's going to give you real good suggestions. They might not always be 100% of what you're looking for, but it's giving you really good suggestions on analyzing the data that you have in that table. You don't have to draw anything, you don't have to format anything. It's just there for you for the use. And that's one thing. So if you have data, and if you're looking at data as a small business owner, you can push that advantage because you are faster than your competitors. It's the same thing with ChatGPT. We experimented with it on writing safety codes and checklists and safety protocols and so on. And it can do it. You need to have it checked by an expert. I mean, we do have those people and we have access to them. But I remember a time when I was at Schneider Electric, and we had to write safety procedures for like customer service engineers. And it took days and weeks of like, what's the weight of this risk? How should it be done? And when I experimented with it, it took me like 15 minutes and ChatGPT would like give me all of it. Now with Google and Bard or ChatGPT and different extensions, you can link it to the internet. so that it even has like the newest type of information. And that's like, I hear a lot of people that say AI is dangerous and it shouldn't be used and it should be restricted and regulated and so on and so on. And I get all of that. And it looks really scary if you think how fast it's learning and how fast it can be changing. The thing is, like, when you are not using it and only 50% of your competitors start using it, what do you think will happen? How will your business change if your competitors get 20%, 30% more efficient? If they can make 20% faster decisions on quotes? It's not going to be pretty for your business. That's clear. So you have to adapt. You have to experiment with it and you have to change it. Yes, we have to advocate for regulating it. And there are very compelling and good reasons to do that, because nobody wants to end up in a Terminator-like environment where you have Skynet running everything. But you have to use it. You have to find out how it can benefit your business. You need it. You can get more done with the same people. You can relieve stress. You, as a business owner, can focus on actually working on your business rather than sitting there and writing stuff that an AI can write for you. It can reply to emails. It will be integrated in Gmail. It's going to be implemented in Microsoft. I mean, Teams can already transcribe meetings. You needed a secretary for that. You can generate marketing stuff. You can generate presentations. And a lot of small business owners, that's where they struggle with. Especially if you are a little bit older, if you were brought up through a period of slower change. It can program websites. Especially if you have no idea how to do that, you might want to explore an AI that can do it. And it sounds scary, but it can be really, really beneficial for you and your business. And we are using it on all kinds. I use it in Excel on data. We are using it for transcribing meeting minutes. We're using it for organizing stuff. We're using the team transcription. We're gonna probably use it in emails in order to make sure responses are getting better. You can use it for campaign builder. My wife used it because we are using in one of the businesses. We are using Keep, former Infusionsoft. They have like a complete AI campaign builder now, where that campaign builder generates the emails, generates the landing page and everything, and the funnel. And it's just drag and drop. It took our VA days and weeks of back and forth and an iterative process. This is what we want. And we had to write the copy because she wasn't a copywriter, but she needed to put in the email sequence and so on. And now that's all done within not even 5 minutes. And you have to think like that. If you are a small business owner, you have to think how to stay relevant to your customers. And that means you have to embrace change. And AI is one of the biggest changes that is right now coming. And you have the chance, because right now there's a level playing field. We all, as small business owners, have the chance to advance further. But you're going to be left behind if you don't start experimenting with it. It's like we're doing it day to day on different things. We're using it in marketing for different things. We're using it in production for different things in order to make sense out of data. We are using it in order to write things on the health and safety side. So there are so many different use cases, and you can Google it around. You can, if you have TikTok, you can go on there. I mean, there are tons of video explaining all the different AI tools. You can use the normal Google search. It will spit out a lot of AI tools that you can use. So start trying to get that done today. And it's not that I always remember it every day, but from time to time, and that's the reason for the vlog today, is I remember how critical it is to stay on the edge. especially with resource constraints. A lot of small businesses struggle with resources. We struggle with hiring great talent because it's not always available and it's not freely available. And sometimes you can't pay the same rates than big companies can. So while you are stuck in that crunch where you can't find the right skilled resources, maybe look if you can automate some stuff in order to free up the resources that you have. As we don't want our finance people to deal with all the stuff that can be automated. Why would we? I don't want that for purchasing either. I don't want that for the production formats. I don't want that for the supervisors. They shouldn't be deal with stuff that can be automated, that can be made easier. And there is AI, there's digitalization, and those two trends are driving the small business. And either you are on the bus or you are off the bus. But if you are off the bus, you have to be very clear that bus is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to stop. When it leaves the station, it leaves the station. There is, at one point, you will not be able to catch it up again. So think about that. Think how you can find AI tools. Where do you need AI tools? And probably for whatever problem you have, put in the problem plus AI in Google search, and it's probably going to give you some tool that can change it. And there is anything from 3D printing to 3D scanning, to product illustrations, to avatars. It's endless. It's endless. The AI technology is like getting up like mushrooms, and there is more to it than ChatGPT and Bard that is right now launched from Google. And then the next question is, how can you get the AIs together so the AI can produce pictures, it can launch campaigns, whatever it needs to do. Think about that. That's probably one of the most important videos right now that you needed to watch. Watch it again. Share it with your friends, especially in the small business community. We as small business owners have to get that right, because all the big businesses will, and it will affect everyone. A lot of what like high paid consultants would do, AI will be doing, because even that is very often repetitive work. If you look at health and safety, you had to pay somebody, and I mean, we still pay for that service because we want that validation and it has a benefit, but not on writing all that security stuff. But before that, you paid somebody and you paid them very, very well. Now you can get AI doing it. You can get the same on a process analysis. You will still need operational excellence experts in order to make sense out of all of that. And probably because they are much better in prompting AI correctly, but it will, their value add will just increase. If you are an operational expert like me, it's like, I don't want to be bogged down with those details. If I have to sit down and write a process for 2 hours because I have to draw it here and I have to draw it there and then I have to link it, yada, yada, yada. As in the past, as a consultant, also right now, I'm getting paid to do that. But is that really my value add to sit there and draw boxes? No. My value add is in looking at the production, understanding it, like looking outside of the box and trying to rearrange everything. That's where I add the most value. We're going to create a central shipping hub. That's where we add value. But for all of the details, it's like I much rather find a tool that can do that. And that's what you have to do as a small business owner. And very often, if you're looking inside of your organization, there might be somebody that is young enough and naive enough in order to try that. Get your people to try it. And I've seen it as like with a certain age, and it's like there is reluctance on trying it because the other stuff also works. Break through that barrier. Try the new things. Try the tools. Try the AI. You have to do it. I'm sorry for all of that pushing in that video, but I hope I really brought across the point across, because it's like, it's deeply from my heart. I want to make sure that everyone understands how important that is, especially in the small business environment. Cheers, guys. Happy experimenting. If you have any questions, let me know either in the comments, like and share that video with your friends in the small business community, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.